Welcome to our deep dive. We're going to be checking out Parallels, a novel by Kiefer Luzzatto. Um, and it's not your typical sci-fi book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really takes the whole parallel universes thing. And instead of just being like, oh, what if?
Mm.
It actually tries to ground it in like real science.
I see.
That's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
It asks like, what if all those what ifs were actually like real what if?
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to approach it, taking something that's usually just like, a thought experiment or a fantasy, and actually trying to think about, well, what would the implications be if it were actually true?
Right. And that's what we're going to be looking at today.
Okay, cool.
So we meet this girl named Rio, right? She's like your typical teenager, spending her summer break at her grandma's,
Huh?
in this town called Cloverfall.
Uh-huh.
Pretty normal stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then she meets this guy, Dan. And that's when things start to get kind of, well, strange. Yeah. He's got these like memory gaps, and he keeps appearing in places that like he shouldn't be able to get to. Almost like, well, he's teleporting or something.
That's definitely strange.
It is. And this is where the whole idea of hopping comes in, right?
Hopping.
Yeah. So Dan's dad, Professor Thomas Williams, he's this physicist who's working on like quantum mechanics and cognition. And he's got this theory.
What's the theory?
Well, he thinks every action, like even something small like throwing a ball, creates a split in reality. Like a new parallel world where that ball lands in a different spot.
Wow. Okay.
So hopping is about like moving your awareness between these different realities.
So he's saying there are infinite versions of ourselves out there, living out every possible variation of our lives.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot to wrap your head around, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of what makes this book so fascinating. It
Yeah.
really makes you think about like the nature of reality and like free will.
It does, and it raises a lot of interesting questions. Like, if you could hop between realities, what would you choose? What reality would you want to live in?
That's a good question. And the novel explores that.
Yeah.
The professor, he actually thinks that hopping could be like a way to increase happiness. Like
Oh,
imagine being able to choose the reality where you made the right decision, where things worked out the way you wanted them to.
okay. I can see how that would be tempting. But, I mean, wouldn't that have consequences? Like, if you're choosing one reality over another, what about the people in those other realities?
Exactly. That's like the big ethical dilemma the novel brings up.
Well, the ending, it's pretty amazing. There's this big confrontation, the people who want to protect the multiverse versus those who are willing to destroy it.
Wow. Talk about a showdown. So who wins?
Well, I don't want to spoil everything, but let's just say it's not a simple win or lose situation.
Oh.
Yeah, there are sacrifices, losses. The novel doesn't shy away from that. It shows that even in a multiverse with infinite possibilities, there are still consequences.
That's real. Life's messy,
Mm,
even when you're dealing with parallel worlds and all that.
exactly. But ultimately, I think the message is one of hope, that even when things seem impossible, it's worth fighting for what you believe in.
That's good. I like a hopeful ending.
Me too.
Mm.
And parallels, it really makes you think, about the choices we make, the impact we have on others, even on other worlds, maybe.
That's deep.
It is. It's a reminder that we're all connected in ways we might not even realize.
Oh, that's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
So, to everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Parallels. It's a wild ride full of twists and turns, but it's also a story that'll stay with you. Make you think about the world or worlds we live in.
Yeah, and maybe even inspire you to, to be a little more aware of the choices you make. Because who knows, they might be rippling out further than you think.
Food for thought. Thanks for joining us.